All right, folks, we are finally back. I apologize for the wait, but I promise you it would have been some pretty bad commentary with my sick voice over the last week or so, but we are finally back and we will continue our title defending playoff run here in the 2031 season. We're coming off a round one sweep over Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets, and now we face a team that we have not really faced since John Cobb's debut back in year 2 of this entire series. So it's been quite some time. We might have jumped in for a couple of close games against Phoenix over the years, but we have not really seen them in one long game or one long stint since John Cobb's NBA debut. And I'm not even sure if any of the players on this current roster were here when we faced them, because they look a lot different. They no longer have Devin Booker. They don't have Kevin Durant. They don't have any of the guys that they really had at all. They have Dan George now, who is a former Spur. They've got Bronny James after a couple years in LA. They've got Cody Williams, Javon Sims, a couple of centers, and then Bryce Sensabaugh, who used to play for the Jazz, and then a couple other young players, but really just a completely different team than we have faced before. And we're going to get our first taste at this roster and of this series here, at least for game 1, because we're going to probably watch the entire damn thing. Now, I do plan to keep our lineup as it was in round 1, so we will still have a 9-man rotation, with Iguodala getting less than 10 minutes of game time, and then Young, Highland, and Williams still coming off our bench in some pretty substantial roles. And we'll keep Cobb and Moore at 38 minutes apiece. But for Phoenix, they actually already had a pretty solid lineup with 8 men in their rotation here in the postseason. So here's what their rotation looks like. They got Dan George getting 42 minutes. Now, he is going to play quite a bit, and he's going to play almost the entire second half. But I think come playoff time, you play your stars at that level. At least most teams do. Now, he is a bit shaken up heading into this series with... Let's see what he's got here. He's got a strained right hip. It'll probably last the entire series, but he is their star player despite the injury. And I think if they're going to win, he's got to play as much as he can without further injuring himself. But he's been really good here in the playoffs, except from downtown, but he has still shot the ball relatively well and passed it very well. He's one of the best passers in the entire league. He's actually a better passer on paper than David Dennis is, if you can believe that. So we'll see if we can take these guys down, but this is a way better rotation than we saw in round 1. So I'm expecting a bit more difficulty here. But let's dive in and face the 6-seed Suns, who are coming off a 5-game series win over Kibu Miller and the Kings, which was a very shocking result. So round 2, the NBA quarterfinals begins today. The Western Conference semifinals. The winner of this series obviously moves on to the Western Conference Finals. We're going to watch game 1 and get our feet wet and see what this series might end up looking like. Here we go. And game 1 of round 2 has officially tipped off. Kylan Moore will start us with possession. And Phoenix comes in with no injuries except to Dan George, who, of course, as we already talked about, is their main star player in his first year here in Phoenix. Cobb, down low, works his way inside for the deuce. No contest there from Bronny James Jr., and we are underway here. Good pass out to George for the open triple, but he can't knock it down, and Kylan Moore pulls down a miss. Up to Cobb, he finds Walker, dashing inside, it's 4-0 Aztecs. Out of the corner comes Bronny. He'll dash right to the rack for 2. Off the screen, Dennis finds some breathing room, but can't knock down the triple. Ball's tipped up, and Williams ends up with the rebounds. Now he gets it back in the corner for 3, and cashes in. It's 5-4. Phoenix has their first lead. Kick to Cobb. He tries to gather himself. Good cross-court pass, and Kylan Moore's first shot attempt is good from the corner. Working against Jarris Walker, it's Javon Sims. Heavily contested, but still good. And we are tied. Downhill, Cobb works his way to the paint and hits the fadeaway over Cody Williams. And look at this right here, assists per game so far in the playoffs. Dennis has actually been amazing passing the ball compared to his regular season numbers. George is still top 3, but at least here in this playoff run through the first round has not been quite as good as our own point guard. And now Cobb almost picks up a steal out of the timeouts. But Phoenix holds on to possession. George steps back. Dennis on defense against him, and now a 3-second violation against Trace Jackson Davis. Screen set by Moore. Jarris Walker can't knock it down from behind the arc, and Jackson Davis has the rebound. Cody Williams finds George. His layup won't go, and he is still scoreless so far in this one. We're going to push on the fast break, but Moore can't knock down the pull-up jump shot. Now it's Sims who turns the ball over. Christie cuts off the pass. Walker the quick 3. That one will go. Screen comes over. Bronny James looks to drive it. Crosses over. Finds Williams, who scoops it up and out. And now we have some numbers. We got 5 on 4 right now. Cobb drives. Can't score, but he is fouled. Don't forget that we thought about signing Bronny James. It was really between him and Cam Christie a couple years ago in the free agent market. We chose Cam Christie over him. And Bronny James ends up finding himself here in Phoenix, matched up against us a couple years later. The free throws are good from Cobb, and we have doubled them up so far. And right now in the playoffs, of all teams left, we average the most assists per game. That's how good the offense was back in the first round. Here's Bronny wide open for a 3, but it's not going to go. Out to Christie. Now a screen from Dennis. He'll cut inside, gets the pass, and scores. Timeout, Suns. Off-ball screen for George. He cuts inside and draws the foul. That's the first against the Aztecs and first on David Dennis here in this one. And George, about 22 points per game in the postseason so far through 5 games, after about 19 points per game in the regular season. So he's definitely stepped his game up and had a larger role come the playoffs, as you might expect for these bigger players on this team. Dennis, right through traffic, drives and jams. Downhill, little pick and roll, goes nowhere for the Suns. Now Cody Williams will have to force a shot, and it's no good. Kylan Moore pulls it down. I like our defense so far, not really too many open looks. And the offense, besides that play, has been really good so far. Jackson Davis thinks twice about going up with it against Kylan Moore. And now he's called for a bad screen. And that's going to be back-to-back turnovers by the Aztecs as Christie can't stay in bounds off the pass from David Dennis. That'll bring us a chance to have Mark Williams and Iguodaro check in alongside Dylan Young. Shot clock winding down here for Phoenix. That's a nice pick-and-roll play right there as Jackson Davis finally gets on the board. Young looks to drive it, but it's denied by Jackson Davis on the help. And now we get it right back as Iguodaro cuts off the pass there from Cody Williams. Cobb finds Iguodaro down low, and Cody Williams just got completely lost. What happened there? And George to Jackson Davis again. The pick and roll works, and now a bad foul from Iguodaro will put Jackson Davis at the line for a 3-point play, but he can't capitalize. Marquise White checks in now for the Suns as Jackson Davis becomes their power forward. Young in the paint, blocked out. No, not quite out of bounds. Marquise White tracks it down. A couple stops in a row for the Suns. A chance to close the game back to 2 scores. Marquise White's too strong. Blown by George. Good kick out. Wide open 3, but Christie can't knock it down. That was a great pass by Dillon Young. It was really shown some playmaking ability as of late. Screen comes up. Ronnie has space and cashes in from downtown. 4-point game. Little isolation here for Cobb, going right to the rack, but again, some nice help defense by Jackson Davis. Now he gets the pass and scores on the transition. Another bad foul will put him back at the line for a second chance here at a 3-point play. And this time he got it to go, and they have closed the gap all the way to 1. The offense could use a spark here. Cobb will do it himself with a little finger roll. Out to Bryce Sensabaugh, wide open from 3, but can't knock it down. Iguodala the defensive rebounds. Up to Mark Williams, who is double-teamed. And we don't even take the open shot there. Doubled again. Iguodala, not much of a 3-point shooter, won't pull the trigger there. Shot clock under 5. Christie trying to make something happen, and he does. Low block. Marquise White right up against Mark Williams. Too strong off the window now. Now we lob it up right to John Cobb, moving right down the middle of the lane. Assist goes to Christie. Offense has come to life after a bit of a slow period there. Here's Kennedy Nash. The close range jump shot is up and good. And we're going to call a timeout, leading by 5. Oh, isolation here. Young blows by Sensabaugh. Finds the open man, and David Dennis knocks it down. Again, Dennis Young shows off the playmaking skills. Now Bronny James steps into a triple, but it hits the back iron and comes off the rim. Bones Highland now in, makes the pass. Young is denied by Marquise White a few feet away from the hoop. And Bronny's called for a charge drawn by Dennis. It's going to be his second foul and the 5th Phoenix turnover of the opening quarter. Quick 3 off the pass from Walker. It won't go in for Kylan Moore, who has not really touched the ball a whole lot so far in this game, even with Cobb off the floor. That's going to be an off-ball foul from Bones. Tough shots. No good from Cody Williams. Dennis up to Walker. He'll drive it all the way to the rack. Final play here in the first quarter. Bronny tries another 3, and it beats the buzzer. Cutting our lead down to 7. But we're looking pretty damn good so far. 31-24 through 1. We have spread the ball out pretty darn well so far. We've got 21 points off assists so far, and we've had multiple shots for pretty much every player on the floor at some point this game. But how about that start to the second for Phoenix? Javon Sims all over Jarris Walker. Now a mismatch. Kylan Moore's doubled. Out to Young for the open 3, but it rattles out. And Moore picks up a ticky-tack off-ball foul. And George back on the floor for the Suns. Knocks down his first shot finally after a very slow start. Oh, Dennis back out to Walker. Got a mismatch here now. And he'll drive, but he's stripped by George. What a play. Up ahead to Nash for the corner three, but that one's offline. Now we look to push the tempo a little bit. Walker eyes the rim and is fouled by Dan George. That's going to be his first of the quarter on either team. Front end will go for Jarris Walker. He could be a trade option for us because all these young player contracts are going to add up here very shortly with Kylan Moore, Dylan Young, both up for new contracts at the end of this season. Driving and blocked by Kylan Moore, but they get it back and still cannot knock down a three. They've only hit one or two of those all game long so far on many more attempts than just those couple of makes. Walker off the pick, rattles home another triple. We saw him have a pretty good game. I think it was game 3 or 4 against Denver where he hit like 3 of his first 4 threes. He's hit 2 of his 3 triples so far in this one. We are back in the lead by 7 points. Here's George. Trying one from the top of the key, but it's no good. Now Bones, a quick trigger. That one is off, and so far, he has not lived up to his expectations. Jackson Davis, a little bit off the mark that time. Very fast-paced quarter so far. Walker again behind their defense. He's 5 for 6 with 14 points. Now to Nash. Decent look, but it comes off the back of the iron. 3 minutes gone so far here in the quarter. Aztecs trying to build off this 9-point early lead. Copcott gets the pass, and it's blocked by Javon Sims. Looked like a foul, but nothing is called. They're going to let the guys play on. Nash flares out behind the arc and knocks down another triple. Good pass, open look, and Dennis not able to respond. That 3 could cut our lead in half right here on this possession for the Suns. Jackson Davis getting physical against Kylan Moore, but still passes out. Now a screen off ball for George. Dennis picks him up. Time winding away, he'll have to jack it up. It's no good. Good handoff. Cobb open for 3. Rattles that one in. He's been great so far. Good screen set. Frees up George behind the arc, but again has not really shot the ball too well to open this game. Kylan Moore wants some of the action here, and he is fouled by Javon Sims. That's going to be the first on him. So Kylan Moore on the last year of his rookie deal. How much money will he be getting this upcoming off season? The first free throw was good, but the second comes off. Good screen by Sims. Sensabaugh hands it off. George has to throw it up again, but this time it is going to go. Cobb crosses over, throws it up over Nash, and nearly got his own offensive rebound, but it ends up with Phoenix instead. Jackson Davis draws the foul on the other end. Is that Chauncey Billups, their head coach? I'm pretty sure it is. Jackson Davis, 8 points, 3 for 4 from the field so far. And now a pair of free throws. He goes 1 for 2. Good handoff, open look, and Highland still can't find his offensive rhythm. But don't worry, Mark Williams right there with the follow-up. High ball screen now. It's a pick and roll, and once again it works with Jackson Davis and George. We have one of our own in store. Not quite, it's covered well. Williams out to Bones. He is fouled by Nash on his way up. It's going to be the third against the Suns here in the quarter. 5 to go until halftime. And we have been in full control so far. But Phoenix still hanging around. The free throws are both good. George going right at Bones. Kicks it out to the open man. And they still can't knock it down. Cody Williams knocked down his first shot. Has not really done a whole lot since then. But he does find Jackson Davis for a really tough finish. Kylan Moore drives baseline. Nobody stops him. What a move right there. What a pass by George. Now Jackson Davis drives and scores again. He is in Mark Williams' head right now. He's, I think, the leading scorer for the Suns, which I was not really expecting at all. The free throw is good this time. He's got 15 on like 85% shooting. Cobb spots up. That time it comes off the rim. It's only a 5-point game. Phoenix a real chance to close the gap to only one score with under 4 to play in the half. Jackson Davis to Bronny back on the courts. Now with George. Shot clock under 5. He steps back. Oh, that would have been a nice shot, but it's no good. Dennis with the screen on their center, but Kylan Moore hits the front rim. On the other end, George is fouled on the fast break. That is already number 3 on Kylan Moore, so he could be in foul trouble here soon if he stays out there. Do not want to pick up number 4 in a single half. That is a recipe for disaster. Especially in a close game like this where he's, I think, played fairly well, but not like we are used to, you could say. It's a 3-point game. Phoenix trying to close the gap even further. Cobb looks to drive, spins, and scores. How do you stop that? He's got 15. Good penetration by George, off the window and in. The Suns' offense has come to life here in the second quarter. And now Cobb almost has it ripped away by Cody Williams. Dennis gets the pass from Young and knocks it down. Dennis has been so fun to watch for the better part of the series, but especially this season. He has hit some really big-time shots, that one included. But Dan George splits defenders and once again scores at the rack. And we give it right back to Phoenix. A bad pass by Kylan Moore is cut off by Marquise White. Do not want to allow them to somehow jump in front by halftime. That is not where you want to be after leading for the entire game so far. That shot's no good from Bronny. Dennis pulls it down. Up to Kylan Moore, who lost the ball off the back of Jackson Davis, who ends up with that steal. White closes the gap to 2. Cobb looks to drive it. A bit too strong off the window, but he is fouled by Williams, his first. Front end for John Cobb. Online. Really is just one of the best free throw takers in the entire league, but not even the best on the team. Dennis holds that title. Bronny out to George to close it to 1. It just swims out. White can't put it back in. He'll try again, but it's denied. Third or fourth chance drops in from downtown for Cody Williams. We just failed to box out there, and they got a couple of lucky bounces off the rim. Young drives and misses the lay-in, and now Phoenix will have a really strong chance to close to take the lead for the first time, which Bronny will do. Wow, we have absolutely collapsed here these last couple of minutes. And it's 56-55 in favor of Phoenix. We'll hold for the final shot here of the first half. Dennis has a lane, nobody home. We're back in front with 2.8 to go. He'll have the final shots. George from beyond half court comes off the back iron. What a first half, though. We were in control for Almost all of it, but Phoenix with a big run to close the half. And now we have a game on our hands. Second half underway, and so far I think the biggest standout has been Trace Jackson-Davis with those 15 points and 8 rebounds in only 1/2 of play. That's like what he averages like per game, I'm pretty sure. So he is definitely outplaying our bigs, at least so far. Which is definitely a thing to keep an eye on. Cobb leads us with 17 points, but we haven't seen a whole lot of shots for Kylan Moore. We've seen Dennis have a bigger role than him, at least to this point. Javon Sims with the free throws will put the Suns back in front to open the third quarter. Christie finds Dennis, top of the key, no good. More on the glass. We'll have a second chance, and Jarris Walker continues his hot shooting. Off-ball screen sets for Bronny. A good switch there by Cobb to pick him up. Now Williams to George. Open a look. And cannot respond. Cobb looks to penetrate. Little hop step to get around 2 defenders. Man, he is just a great offensive weapon. He's having his best defensive season so far, I believe, too, with more blocks and steals than we're really used to here in these little showcase games. George fouled on the drive by Dennis. Dennis not happy with the call. Trying to convince the ref of his side of things. Cobb and Kylan Moore in the playoffs have both been top 5 scorers. Free throw for George. Up and good. And this one to close it back to a 2-point deficit, but it comes off the back iron. And now ball's tipped. Cobb tracks it down, but George again with some solid hands, able to jar it loose, and Bronny lays it in. Gotta watch out for these turnovers, man. Cobb again inside the paint. Back out to Dennis. Shot clock under 5. He'll fire a 3. That one's too strong. Up ahead, Sims rises. It's denied off the backboard. Jarris Walker comes through with the block and then coughs it up. Cobb fights for it and somehow will get us some points off that. Incredible. Open 3 to tie it up, Javon Sims. He's been pretty darn good so far. Off-ball screens for Cobb. Suns don't switch. Cobb, though, blocked. Took too long to fire. Cody Williams takes advantage. George, catch and shoot for the lead. That one rattles out. Up to Cobb to put us back in front. He'll show him how it's done. Screen comes up. Little pick and roll. They lob it up, and Moore able to snatch that one away. That's the first time the pick and roll has not really worked for them in this game. But we cannot hit the open fast break triple. A lot of open threes for Dennis so far in this game. Dan George definitely having his hands full guarding him. And now George lost it, and Dennis is right there to scoop it up. Tough shot. Dennis is fouled by Javon Sims. That's number 2. Run in for David Dennis. Will go. I believe he shot like 97% at the line in the regular season. Absolutely incredible numbers. Hits both here. Bronny comes off the screen. Christie still sticks with him. Gets the handoff. Good pump fake. But better defense by the Aztecs. Despite all that, George still knocks it down. A couple of tough shots for him in this game so far. Moore's calling for it. He's doubled again. They don't want him to fire here in the low post. Cobb with a 3. No good. Now to Sensible. Hand up from Cobb. It doesn't matter. And he ties the game at 69 apiece. Little 2-3 zone by Phoenix, leaving Kylan Moore open from downtown. And he makes him pay. Good cut by George. It's blocked by David Dennis off the backboard. And it takes away 2 points. Now we're going to get to our own, most likely here at the charity stripe, as Christie draws the 3rd foul on Javon Sims. The defense proving a vital part of our efforts here, but we're not going to get both points as Christie bricks the front end. The back end will go, though. Screen from Sims. Nash open, but can't drop it in. Open look for Bones. Man, he has not shot the ball well at all. Marquis swipe back in, sets the screen. George with the bounce pass, and White is fouled. That was a mismatch on John Cobb that time. Kind of had to foul to prevent the buckets. And he is a granny shot free throw shooter. A rare sight in today's NBA. And he goes 1 for 2, so I guess it kind of works for him. Oh, what a good inbound pass by Kylan Moore. It still gets deflected by George. But Dennis right there to track it down and put the ball in the hoop for 2. We hold on to a 5-point lead. We've shot over 50%. They've shot up 45%, so defense has been a factor. But Phoenix, man, they have been so good at these and ones all game long. And George has really stepped up since the first quarter. Open 3, top of the key. It rattles out for David Dennis. Javon Sims pulls down the rebounds. Now Sims draws the double team. Nash out of a shot finds White. George fires the 3, but cannot put Phoenix in front. Mark Williams now wants it. He's got a mismatch. Help comes. Extra pass to Moore in the corner. You gotta hit that shot next time. Oh, what a move by George. He crosses over, but cannot complete the highlight play. Neither team right now seemingly wants to get points on the board. Would love to increase our lead. Young will do just that. Was trying to go for a dunk, I think, but I had to take the layup instead thanks to White's defense. Clock under 5. Here's Nash. Little pump fake and still can't knock it down. The shot contest by Bones Highland. Up to Dennis, who is the target, but it's cut off by Sims. Open jumper, and Nash will knock it down this time. We've got 8 turnovers so far. Definitely more than we average, I think. We're going to call timeout and talk things over. Yoni Young through traffic hits the deck. And now a chance to take the lead again for Phoenix, and Nash will do just that. It is still neck and neck. Inside to Young. Working against Sensabaugh. What a spin move by Dylan Young. Lobbing it up, and White can't flush it down. Mark Williams right there at the dunk contest, and now Bones Highland finally gets himself on the board with that and one opportunity. And now a chance at the line to push our lead to 5. He got it. Cody Williams, open shot, mid-ranger, but he can't knock it down. He's been ice cold since his first shot. White blocks Iguodala's layup off the backboard. Here's George, tough angle. It rolls off the rim. Highland has a lane, hop steps, and nearly had another and one. Number 3 on Nash, who is coming off the Phoenix bench. Bones hits the front end. He actually did have 2 points, but it was a couple free throws, so that last field goal was his first and so far only of the game. But so far, he's perfect at the charity stripe. Driving and blocked out of bounds by Mark Williams. That is Bryce Sensabaugh. It'll stay with Phoenix. Screen from White. He'll try his luck from distance, but that one goes in and out. Whoa, what is that? Christie tries a very tough shot. It's no good. And now we get it right back. Bones cuts off the pass. Now tries a three and cashes in. Okay, big quarter from Bones Highland here after a pretty forgettable first half. And we have launched a 10-0 run to hopefully close the third quarter. Williams unable to respond. We'll have one more chance to increase our lead. 5 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Cobb fires, knocks it down with 0.6 left. That is how you close a third quarter. A 12-point cushion with 1 quarter left to play. Let's close this one out. All right, fourth quarter underway, and after a big run to close the third, can we keep things up here in the fourth? Cobb makes it 15-0. Since Phoenix tie the game at 77 apiece. Man, we're looking fantastic right now after a pretty back and forth couple of quarters. Here's Bronny handing it off to White for their first points in quite some time. That's a tough shot. No good this time from Bones, but he was a big part of that little run to close the quarter. Dan George, foot inside the arc. He has really played a whole lot better this half. Downhill, right to the rim and denied, but Cobb gets it back and Bones misses the second chance three. Shuffled inside to Cody Williams. And quickly rising and flushing, and a little spurt of Phoenix's own. Good penetration, good pass. Christie eventually sees it go through. That's a tough shot, but George cashes in from deep, man. He does not want to go away anytime soon. It's back to 9. We're going to talk things over. Cobb comes off the screen, fades, and it just rattles out. Mismatch inside. Javon Sims draws the double. Has to pass out. Extra one to Cody Williams, who still cannot find his jump shot. Here's Jarris Walker. Top of the key. Hits the deck. Moore gets the offensive rebound and scores. Into a three again, and Bronny James has yet to really catch fire. He's hit a couple of those, but not at a high percentage. Little flip up. And in from Bones, he's got 12 and a plus 15 plus minus. So he's actually having quite a bit of an impact here in this second half. Cody Williams, nobody home in the paint. Screen comes up. Cobb from long distance, no good. Jackson Davis, I don't think has even scored this half. But, you know, right as I say it, he's going to. They will call a flagrant 1 immediately on Kylan Moore. That'll be free throws and possession for Phoenix. With just under 8 minutes left to go. The first one is good, and Jackson Davis knocks down both, and they will keep the ball. Dennis and Young check back in. Bronny looks to drive it. Euro stepping into a dunk. No resistance from Bones. Off the screen, Dennis, a foot outside of the charity stripe. Can't knock it down. He's been a bit colder here in this second half, and now that flagrant 1 making a big impact here in the rest of this game, because a shot here could make it a 2-score ball game. But Bronny still, like Cody Williams, cannot find his jump shots. And we cough it up on the other end. Jackson Davis with that steal. And now we almost stole it back. And it will be our ball. Jarris Walker, Jordan it loose. It goes out of bounds off of Jackson Davis's knee. Good screen by Walker. Cobb, baseline. Great hesitation, but he still can't lay it in. And now Walker, back-to-back plays to force back-to-back turnovers. And Christie throws it down. The fast breaks have been big for us so far in this game. 6 minutes left to play. We lead by 9. Here's Cody Williams for 3. His first since the first quarter. We lob it up. Off the backboard. Moore tracks it down. We got lucky there. George steps back. Goes right out Walker and draws the foul. And I'm still confused. How is there nobody in our courtside seats, man? That's kind of ticking me off. How is that even a bug? I want to see a couple of celebrity faces out there. Like, I don't know, like some of the guys from RDC World, or I don't know, like Jack Black. Maybe he wants to come watch a non-Lakers game for once. I don't know. 6-point game, though. 103 for the Aztecs, 97 for the Phoenix Suns. Moore backing down Jackson Davis. Tough move in the post. Off the screen. George finds Sims rolling inside. Man, this is going to be a close finish. I can already feel it now. Phoenix is not giving up. And now Cobb lost it. Ripped and stolen by Cody Williams. George penetrates through traffic and one. Dennis can't believe it. That's his 4th foul. And a 3-point play on the way from Dan George. Imagine if this guy did not have the strained left hip. He would be killing us right now. He already is, but it would be a whole lot worse. 3-point game. Screen comes up. Christie to double our lead. Still cannot hit a 3. I don't think he's hit more than 1 tonight. Now a real chance for Phoenix to make it a 1-point or tie ball game. Bronny with a rocket off the backboard. It won't go. Dennis. Hands off. Cobb takes his time. Picks up his dribble. We gotta find something open. Walker is, but he can't knock it down now. And he shot the ball so well all game long. Oh, good crossover. Bronny to tie it. It'll go. 105 apiece. A 19-6 Phoenix run. Offense needs life. Dennis can't supply it, but Moore picks up the offensive rebound and keeps it alive. Christie will give it to us. 3-point game. Timeout, Phoenix. Interesting sub here as Javon Sims is left wide open, and it will almost immediately retime the game. But Marquise White checks in for Jackson Davis here with under 3 minutes left to go. Curious move that time. Cobb to put us back in front. Foot on the line, and it's only a 2-pointer, but still a lead either way. We play our Brandon defense now down the stretch. Bronny off the front iron. Now Kylan Moore tries his luck. It knocks down, I believe, his 2nd triple of the half. And we lead by 5. A big 5-point swing right there. Under 2 minutes left now. Phoenix needs some offense here. White the screen. George the shot. It goes off the backboard and back through the hoop. He's got 32. Dennis has a lane. Drives and is hacked. That's George's 3rd. We can trust Dennis at the line here. He's almost always reliable, but oh my God, he missed it. Wow, I was not ready for that at all. But I guess it's the announcer jinx. It always happens in close games like this. 90 seconds left. And George wants to do it himself. Dennis has 5 fouls. George, 9 for 10 so far at the line tonight, but now he is going to miss the front end. So we get one back. And the back end will also, well, it will go, but 3-point game. Just got to keep putting the ball on the hoop here and stay in front. Kylan Moore backing down Marquise White. Not sure a quick shot there is what you want. Now Phoenix has a chance to tie or make it a 1-point game. Out to Williams for the tie. No good. Dennis on the other end. Why are we taking such quick shots here? The game plan has got to be to let the clock tick away. And Phoenix is still alive here. Williams bounces it to White for the easy deuce 1-point game. We are not out of the woods just yet. 10-second differential. They don't have to foul. Up to Dennis. Tight window pass. We come down with it. Kylan Moore wants the ball here in the clutch. Backs down. White! It absolutely rocks the rim. Flexes. And it's a timeout for Phoenix. They've got none left. There is no shot clock left. Phoenix can still tie with a triple. No open threes. No and one opportunities here, fellas. George steps back. No good, but it's tipped out of bounds by, I believe, Kylan Moore. So it'll stay with Phoenix. They'll get at least one more chance at a triple or a 2 to make it a 1-point game. White the inbounder to George. Back out to Sims. He steps back, but can't knock it down. And there's 5 seconds left. And Dennis can put this game out of arm's reach. What a game it's been, though. Incredible from start to finish. The front end goes for Dennis. The 4-point game. And the Aztecs will lead it by 5 with as many seconds left. Phoenix, no timeouts. They have to force a quick shot. George, no good. And the Aztecs take game 1 by the skin of our own teeth. 118 to 113, your final score. But what a start to the series. A very different story compared to round 1. And I am ready for more. I do love me some great playoff basketball. That was definitely up there for probably the best game that we've seen so far in this playoff run. 31 points for Cobb. He shot the ball incredibly well. Kylan Moore did too, but definitely had a bit of a small role than we're used to, only taking 13 shots, but hitting 3 triples and hitting the game-winning dunk in that little low post matchup against Marquise White. Very interesting choice to bench Jackson Davis. Had a big first half, and instead they brought in Marquise White to play those final couple of minutes for whatever reason. But 20 points, 14 boards for Kylan Moore. Dennis, I thought, had a better first half, but then really did not shoot very well in the second half, and also did not really pass the ball well at all. Only 2 assists here in this game, but we did have about 20 as a team, which is not too bad. 8 assists for Cam Christie, 5 for Walker and Bones Highland, and Bones had a pretty big third quarter, really helped us kind of pull away and give us a solid cushion there. Jarris Walker, a great first half, but a quiet second half. And a couple of block shots for Dylan Young. So he's got to work on taking some better shots here against Phoenix. But we got the win despite 33, 6, and 9 for Dan George. Cold first half, way better second half, but overall shot the ball really poorly. And hopefully he can recover from that hip sooner, because I do want to see this Suns team fully healthy, but we'll just have to see what happens with him. Trace Jackson-Davis, as we talked about, had a really big first half, but only 2 second half points and way less rebounds, not quite as involved. So really a tale of two halves for a number of players, but we shoot 51% on the way to a win. And now we can dive into the rest of this series here. I'm going to keep where our lineup is for now, but I am definitely thinking about maybe giving Bones less of a role in most of the game, only because, you know, of course he had some big impacts in the third quarter, but for the better part of the playoffs, since the trade at the very least, he really hasn't shot the ball well at all, and we need him to if he's going to be out there for like 20 or so minutes per game. But here we go. Game 2, we're going to sim the first half at least and then jump in late if it's close. And game 2 tip-off is won again by Kyle and Moore. Both lineups stay the exact same. Rotations the same as well. We'll go through this game here. First quarter, very tightly contested. Second quarter, we pull away and build on a double-digit lead. Third quarter, and we are adding even more to our big cushion. And we're going to win game 2 pretty handily here at home. And we're going to go on the road to Phoenix for games 3 and 4 coming up next. And this time it is Kyle Moore who leads the way, dropping 34 and 15 with 4 blocks as well. John Cobb, 23 and 8. David Dennis, a triple-double. This has got to be the first of his career. He also supplies 4 steals, shot the ball very well. Bones actually had a pretty good day. 14 points, really gave us some good offense off the bench. A couple guys shot poorly, like Christian Iguodala, but we blow out Phoenix. Dan George shot better, but did foul out in the fourth quarter after playing 34 minutes of action. 21 points, but only 2 boards for Javon Sims. Jackson Davis and Marquise White both really cold here in this one. Ronnie James yet to really shoot the ball all too well, and we blow them out 121 to 83. They shot less than 30%. Holy cow. On the road now in game 3, another really close first quarter. But again, the second proves to be a pretty big difference maker here in the first half, just like game 2. Third quarter is going our way again. But then Phoenix, a really strong end to the quarter, and they might be closing the gap here to single digits. We could be in store for a fun finish here. 7:29 left to go. We lead by 9, but Phoenix so far outplaying us in the second half. Aztecs will have the ball here in Phoenix, leading by 9. Kyle Moore makes it double digits. George, back out. Cody Williams takes the screen, tries a triple and knocks it down. Big shot. Out to Bones, his triple. Offline, again he cannot respond. Up ahead to George, blocked out of bounds by Moore. Here's Bronny spotting up, straight away look no good. Jackson Davis blocked out of bounds now by Moore. Screen comes up. Bronny a foot inside the arc now, still can't hit. And Kyle Moore boxes out for the defensive rebound. Has a mismatch against George and goes right to the rack for 2. Under 6 to play now here in the regulation. Jackson Davis gets behind our defense. Downhill, and Dennis draws the foul on Jackson Davis, his 3rd, team's 4th. 1 away from the bonus. Dennis, 17 points here in game 3 on efficient shooting. Knocks down the first. And the back end is up and no good. His second miss of the series so far. Bronny through the hands of George, but he ends up getting it back. No turnover. Williams spots up from the elbow and hits. Good screen by Walker. Cobb crosses over Williams. Tough bucket. He's got 34 on 12 for 19 shooting, man. John Cobb. What an offensive player. I just cannot say enough about him. Bronny back out to Javon Sims. Jackson Davis waiting for an open pass. Time winding down. Williams open. No good. Now a little fast break 3 for Cobb, but he can't hit. Phoenix gets it back, still down by 9 points. They lob it up, and Jackson Davis makes it 7. Alan Moore's calling for it down low. He's doubled. Dennis, the open 3, cashes in. We're just trying to hold off a fierce comeback here. And right now, the jump shots are not falling for the Suns. Walker through contact. He's fouled. Aztecs now in the bonus the rest of the fourth quarter. Run in for Jarris Walker. Up and good. 11-point lead. And the back end will make it 121 to 109. An uphill climb now for Phoenix. Little pick and roll. And wow, that is an ill-advised foul by Jarris Walker. Marquise White once again getting some crunch time minutes here. Jackson Davis no longer on the courts. We'll see if that continues for the Suns. Not really a work back in game 1. Here's Cobb, open triple. That one's offline. Javon Sims. Over 2 defenders, offline. Gotta find a better shot than that right there. Good spin move, but Moore cannot finish through the traffic. Good defense by White that time. Game's not over quite yet. We've seen Phoenix make a couple of runs in game 1. Here's White off the backboard, too strong. Another defensive rebound by Moore. Jarris Walker got it to go. Tough finish. Timeout Suns. Phoenix could use some life right about now on the offensive end, but Dan George has gone pretty cold here down the stretch. We lead 123 to 112. Suns running out of time here. One bucket should really put this one away, but Dennis cannot lay it in at the rim. Here's Williams, heavily contested, no good. And that should probably about do it. I don't think Phoenix has enough time to come back in this game without an incredible miracle, especially with that bucket by Cobb. That gives him 36, and that really should be the dagger. And that will just about do it here in Game 3 as we take the first road trip here in Phoenix by 18 points, holding off the comeback effort and really just having a fantastic fourth quarter to close it out. 132 to 114, your final score. Now we have a commanding lead with hopefully only one more game left to go through. And so, despite 29 points and 15 assists from Dan George and 24 from Marquise White, the Aztecs pull away in the end. 36-8-6 for John Cobb. He shot the ball very well. David Dennis, 24-10, shooting very well. Kylan Moore, 16 rebounds, 24 points, 3 blocks. He also shot the ball very well. Jarris Walker, good defense here in this one. Good offense too. And right now, the Phoenix Suns just look a little bit gassed, a little bit winded, a little bit undermanned to face a team like us. We outshoot them in all 3 games so far. We lead 3-0. Rockets likely about to lead 3-0 over the Warriors as well. We could be in store for a rematch of last year's Western Conference Finals, where we had a couple of really great games. We just won that series in 5 games despite a couple of close ones. But one more game hopefully left in this one. Game 4 coming up right now. Can we close the series out and hopefully sweep our second straight playoff opponents? First quarter goes Phoenix's way. Second quarter, it's going their way as well. And right now, they're having their best game of the series by a mile. They're about to blow us out, it looks like. But we are kind of closing the gap here. 6-point game, 2:55 to go. Could we come back and really sweep these guys? Let's find out. Under 3 to go, we have the ball. We have fought back all the way from about 21 or so points down. And now 1-3 could cut their lead in half. Could be a big score right here. 4-point game as Moore gets inside for the easy deuce. Screen comes up. Cody Williams off the back iron, no good. And Cam Christie pulls down the miss. I don't see Cobb out there, but he should be coming in next to ball, or he perhaps is fouled out, actually. I'm not really sure. Kylan Moore can't finish or grab the offensive rebounds. Williams tries again. That one will drop in. Dennis drives. The bucket will count. And the foul to boot. Is Cobb back in? No, we brought in. Why is Pelé Larson out there? That is the wrong guy to play right now. I don't like that at all. So Cobb must have fouled out. The free throw is good. It's back to 4. You got to play some defense now. Screen comes up for Bronny. But Christie gets around it pretty well. George finds White. He drives and scores. Wow. Through the contacts. Phoenix trying to avoid a sweep here. And now he brought in Braden McCaw. So we're just going to have some random players come in to close the game. Great. Kylan Moore wants it, but picks up his dribble. Screen comes up. Dennis tries a 3. But that one rattles out, and it's not looking good for us here in Game 4. Now we fail to steal it. Bronny shuffles it to Marquise White to perhaps put the stamp on things. Dennis steps back, does not pull the trigger. The mid-range jump shot is off, and yeah, this game is definitely over now. Phoenix is going to hold on to win. They're going to, like us in Game 3, hold off the valiant comeback efforts. Sims fouls. That's 5 on Moore. And free throws to really increase their lead to double digits here. Dylan Young now out there. I hate the late game subs when somebody fouls out. I absolutely hate it. The Suns stay alive behind 28 points for Bronny James here in this one. 23 for Sims, 21 for George. He has been passing out of his mind as of late. 15 more assists here in this one. Nice days for Cody Williams and Marquise White. Pretty much all of their players played their best game or close to it of the series. 23 and 14 for Dennis, but Cobb shot the ball poorly. Moore only scored 17 points, and Cobb did foul out after only 25 minutes of game time. So that was definitely a big part of this loss right here. And the Suns have their best offensive day of the series to take Game 4. Going to Game 5 back at home to see if Phoenix can avoid the gentleman's sweep, and so far we have a pretty tight contest on our hands. Third quarter, and Phoenix jumps in front. And now we're just going back and forth. Fourth quarter comes around. We increase our lead a little bit. Trying to hold on to close it out. And it looks like we are going to move on to the Western Conference Finals. The Phoenix Suns have been eliminated after allowing 139 points. And we are the first team to punch our ticket to the NBA semifinals. In Game 5, it was Bones Highland leading us and scoring with 27 off our bench. Definitely his best game as an Aztec. Simply put, I mean, just his best game. 10 for 13. Amazing shooting. John Cobb, 2 boards, 1 assist shy of a triple-double. Had 3 blocks. Shot the ball very well. Howard Moore, 23. Dennis, 18, 4, and 6. Nice days for Christian Jarris Walker as well. And nobody for us really played bad at all. 22 for Bronny. Daniel George fouls out here in this game, and so does Trace Jackson Davis. So that was a big reason why the fourth quarter went our way, I think. We shot 56%. We win in 5. And meanwhile, the Warriors have won both games 3 and 4 on their home court to tie the series up against the 1-seed Rockets. I would much rather face the Rockets because I think it would be a much more intense matchup. You've already faced a 7 and 6 seed team. I don't want to have to face the 5 because that would be like one of the easiest roads to the finals maybe ever. So I really hope the Rockets can pull this out because I do want to beat them again because they keep winning over the 1 seed over us. But I guess we'll have to find out. We're going to sim the rest of the round, and the Rockets do win both games 5 and 6, and we have a rematch on our hands from just a year ago. We won that series in 5. We're going to face the Rockets once again. We come in, of course, missing Herb Jones to the torn left Achilles, and the Rockets come in with perhaps an injury to Reed Shepherd and Dion Houston. What is going on here? Reed Shepherd did play in the playoffs, but it looks like a torn left meniscus will have him in the year on the injury list. Dion Houston, a high left ankle sprain, and both guys are likely going to be out the rest of the playoffs. That is absolutely huge. Because I guess now they've got Ryan Rollins as their point guard. I'm not sure if that's really accurate, but they still have a great bench. They still have a great starting 5, but now pretty big injuries to both teams, but now the Rockets actually are going to be the more injured team. So that could play a really big role in how this series ends up unfolding. They have gone 8 and 4 here in the playoffs. We have gone 8 and 1. So they have been the better offense, at least in terms of points per game. And we'll see where that takes us in this series. But meanwhile, the Eastern 1 seed, the Hawks, lose in 6 against the Pistons, trying to come back and get back in the NBA Finals for the first time in a season. Meanwhile, the Brooklyn Nets, after taking down the 3-seed Bulls in 6 games back in round 1, they win in 7 over the Wizards. And it's going to be the 4 and the 6, and the 1 and the 2. So whoever we face in the finals, if we end up beating the Rockets, might be similar to like a Phoenix-esque team in terms of their ratings and whatnot. Pistons is definitely not quite as strong as the Rockets, so this series right here, like last year, might be our toughest of the playoffs, and we'll see where that unfolds and where it takes us next time around, folks. But if you want your stats on that last playoff series, here you go. In the quarterfinals, John Cobb was our top scorer, 26, 6, and 5, rounding up, over 1 steal, 1 block per game. Shot the ball well from the field and from 3. and perfect at the line. Kylan Moore had a big series too, over 23 points per game, just below 13 rebounds, more assists than Cobb had, to my surprise. 2 blocks, shot the ball at a 53% clip, better 3-point shooting than Cobb, and also very good at the line. I mean, nobody for us was bad at the line here in this round, so I really cannot complain at all. David Dennis, 21, 5 and 8, continues to be that consistent third option for us behind Cobb and Kylan Moore. Bones Hyland actually shot 48% from downtown here in this series. He averaged 15 points per game and only 19 minutes off our bench. Double figures for Jarris Walker and Christie. Both of those guys shot very well. Young, not so much. Iguodaro, only 38%, but we 1 and 5, so who can really complain about that? I'll probably increase our minutes for our stars entering the series, and we'll obviously tweak the Rockets rotation before we jump into the series too. But we'll see where the rest of the playoff run takes us. But like last year, we have kind of a brick wall to run through here against the Rockets. We'll see if we can do it and beat them 2 years in a row here in the WCF. I will see y'all there. Please like the video, subscribe, leave your feedback down below, and I'll see y'all next time. And also, I forgot to say, thanks for 9K subscribers, guys. Hoping to reach 15K by year's end. We'll see if that ends up happening. But again, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in the Western Conference Finals. Take care and have a great day.